AEW Dynamite. Back in Daly's place again, I see this week. Homecoming, apparently. It doesn't really feel like a homecoming because weren't they there like a month ago? I know before they hit the road in July and whatnot. So it hasn't really felt like they left or anything. It's like, hey, we're back in Daly's place again. Like I said, I know they call it homecoming, but it's like, still feels like regular AEW. I guess I'm so used to them seeing them in the whole Daly's Place Center. It doesn't really feel that old and whatnot. Probably if you saw it week after week, it probably would feel old, but it doesn't feel like, hey, it's not like we've been gone for like 6 months. You've only been gone for like 3, 4 weeks. But before I do begin this review of AEW Dynamite, I do want to talk about something I'm sure everybody's been talking about over the past 24 hours now when it comes to AEW, and that's the whole Max Caster acclaim, rap situation that went on. AEW Dark and whatnot. Let me say a couple things about that. Number one, I do believe a lot of this is being blown out of proportion, and I don't think the acclaim should be fired or anything like a lot of people are saying, or suspended over some bars and whatnot, even though they were not the best bars out there. Let me say that too. Um, Number two, this was a tape show, right? So why didn't they just edit this out and never play this to begin with if you knew this was just gonna piss off a lot of people? Now, apparently, Tony Khan saying he was not really, kind of charge of it. Now he will be charge of it now and whatnot. But he said he didn't really have, was not involved in that during the time and wasn't paying much attention close to it and whatnot. But like I said, like this could have been easily avoidable if you knew this was gonna be this bad. Let me say this. Like I said, it was not the worst thing to be heard in the world. Now, it was not a good idea, I guess, to make jokes on mental health or a rape joke and whatnot. Because I know everybody's been talking about Simone Biles lately and whatnot, and we saw what happened on Raw with the whole Charlotte promo, and now we got the acclaim doing it too, which I believe they only did that for shock value, and just kind of taking stuff from the news. This isn't the first time the acclaim has done this. I know they made jokes about Andrew Cuomo, which was he back in the news or something right now? So I know they did that before. So the Simone Biles thing is a give or take. It looks like with a lot of people, but yeah, when it comes to like a mental health, it's not the best thing to use. And the whole listen, I don't even know who the fuck Duke Lacrosse even was. Okay, so it's some joke, I guess. Something that happened like 15 years ago, where some girl lied and ended up accusing like some dudes and whatnot, and I think the girl ended up going to prison for something else, but basically lied about the whole story, made false accusations. I had to go look it back up because I don't even know who the fuck Duke Lacrosse even was. All right, so I didn't even understand that reference. And then okay, Max Caster, he made a pussy joke over what's her face there, Julia Hart and whatnot. I'm like, yo, this ain't the first time I've heard stuff like this. Okay, so I'm not like I said, I'm not really that worried on it, but at the same time, listen, I'm sure everybody agreed to all this, both faces and heels, before coming out there, and maybe they had to sell the express of shock and being pissed off out there and whatnot. But I think they were all in it. They agreed before all this even went down. Let me. How can I explain this? And I talked to a few people here, back and forth today about all this whole situation. I would say it's disrespecting rap or whatnot. Because listen, I've heard way worse shit. Listen, rap it's a diss record, okay? Rappers say a lot of disrespectful shit. We know that happens all the time. If you ever seen battle rap, trust me, I've heard some disrespectful shit, okay? And I can even, some are already naming artists from back then. Well, they've said this from Eminem or Tyler the Creator or any rapper you could most likely find. I don't think every rapper rapped about that, but, what a lot of people are describing right now. But listen, I've heard way worse stuff, but it's a diss, okay? It's a diss. Now, yeah, you may have to separate both hip hop and wrestling for a second right here, and some say stuff is right out the window. Okay, the whole rape joke thing, yeah, that's not gonna work. Okay, no matter how bad you try and whatnot, it's not gonna work. The rape joke is not gonna be funny. So yeah, he did kind of mess himself up on that part for doing that. But like I said, at the same time, I don't even know who the fuck Duke Lacrosse even was. And once I looked it up, it's like, okay, so some, like I said before, it was some girl that falsely accused some people and whatnot, and I think she ended up going to jail for something else. Okay, and What else? I'm trying to go through this the best way I can here. All right, but what can really be said about this? And, I saw people like, well, Max Caster is this age and she is this age. Who gives a shit what age? What does age have to do with any of this? That have made no sense. I don't know why people kept bringing that up. Well, he's this age and she's that age. What the fuck difference does that make? Okay, it's just some dude rapping. And listen, he could have rapped about anything else coming out there. Now, yeah, the only people some would say they really pissed off are what SJWs or feminists or very sensitive people. And yes, a lot of people say AEW is like a cult-like following and whatnot. So these super AEW elitists are the mostly ones that got mad at this whole thing. And everybody saying, "Well, Max Caster is canceled." Like, dude, get that cancel culture bullshit up out of here, okay? No, like, people get sick of hearing that. All right, I get tired of that cancel culture shit. But at the same time, yeah, he probably could have rapped about something different. And I think he was looking for shock value. Okay, like I look at the whole situation. I don't really care either way. But at the same time, it was not the best idea going out there and using a rape joke or a mental health joke and whatnot. That was not gonna work. Now the whole rap about whoever pussy wet and whatnot, I don't really give a shit. Hear shit like that all the time, all right? Or if it smells like I don't know doo doo water or whatever the fuck, I do not care. But I do, like I said, I do believe this is being blown out of proportion. Like I said, they'll probably just apologize and just move on from that and look at it as a tax write-off and whatnot. So that's how I kind of see it going. Or, someone say, oh, Tony Khan may send them to sensitivity training. Another key word for like lay low for a few weeks until this shit blows over, okay? But I do not believe any of the claim should be fired. Of all this, I'm like, dude, it's not that deep. It is not that deep to fire them. It's not like any of these guys really shot or killed somebody or did some worse shit. It's just some dudes rapping. And I don't even think they got the best bars half the time either. Someone would sit there and tell you that Hit Row is a way better, you know, rap group than the Acclaim. And yeah, Hit Row has actual bars. The Acclaim, they do, but mostly it's just rapping about whatever they see on TV and whatnot, or whatever's in the news they could find off of that. All right. So, like I said, overall, I just do believe this whole situation has been blown out of proportion and whatnot. And it's many ways you can look at this, but at the same time, everything being so PC nowadays, you can only say so much nowadays. So yeah, you can only say so much nowadays and whatnot. But then you must be careful what you say too. So like I said, it's many ways you could look at the whole thing and whatnot. Like I said, I don't personally agree with most of what he said, and yeah, this could have been easily avoidable of all things to rap about. But at the same time, I'm not about to lose any sleep over this whole thing too. Okay, so and the people that really complaining that much, motherfuckers don't really know hip hop or rap like that. Okay? They don't. All right? You ain't been in the game and you don't really know, or you probably ain't listened to that much music. And I ain't gonna sit and claim I'm in the game myself, all right? But listen, I know people that actually are rappers and everything, but still, I'm not gonna lose sleep over this whole thing. All right? So I'm just trying to give a quick analysis of what I've seen in the past 24 hours since everybody's been talking about it online and whatnot. Everybody, they've been talking about Charlotte's thing since Monday, and people want both either Charlotte or Max Caster fired for using, Simone Biles' name and whatnot, talking about, even though Charlotte's whole promo was a way different thing than what Max Caster was talking about. Max Caster was just using his as some bars, okay? Charlotte was using it for a promo, somewhat talking or comparing herself to Biles or trying to understand it with the whole mental illness thing or mental problems and whatnot. So it's two different things. But do I believe both should be fired for that? No. Okay. And like I said, you can't really use no. Like I said, it is and the whole. I know I'm repeating myself over and over on this, but like I said, the mental thing I've already went over that. The rape joke, definitely not the best thing to use. The whole thing talking about Julia Hart and whatnot, it's whatever, all right. But you look at some of these articles online and you read about it. some of these people don't know what the fuck they writing about. I've even seen that too, and I'm sure everybody's been pointing out whatever some Bixen Span guy or the guy. Look, he's an idiot. So I've seen him on Twitter before. The guy's a fucking moron, anyways. But I'm sure like either me explaining it or anybody else online is explaining it. It's different perspectives into all this, okay? But still, um, I'm just surprised it's really blown up like this. I am surprised it's really blown up like this this fast though. Like I had saw it last night and everything, but I'm like, how much traction is this gonna get, and how many people are really gonna think on this whole thing and have a different view on it? So it's many ways. So I'll just say this before we move on. Tell me what you think about this whole Max Caster, bars situation and whatnot. Do you think it was too far? Do you think he should be fired? Do you even really care at all about this stuff? Or is it where that we cannot really ever go back to the Attitude Era or go back to the past like that? Because let's be honest, if some of today's fans were in the Attitude Era, they would bitch and moan so much it wouldn't even be funny at that point. They would not survive. I can even say that right now. They definitely would not survive in the Attitude Era, okay? But times, they've evolved and changed, so you got to get up with it. But at the same time, a lot of people do complain one too many times and goes overboard and whatnot. But as some would say with AEW, with the whole, I've heard this for the whole cult following, and they believe holy and thou, and they are perfect. If WWE had done this, would they get the same backlash? I'm sure they would, but it'd probably be 3-6 times as worse if this was WWE. Okay, so that's how I'm kind of looking at this whole thing. All right, but I'm sure everybody's got a different view on this whole situation. Me, it's like it was just whatever. I was like, just make some better bars next time. Just don't do that. Obviously, that didn't work. And yes, they are heels. Let me not forget that before I move on. They are heels. They did heel shit. Okay. Now, is it the type of heat you probably want to be looking for? Not really. But they are heels. Okay. The fans have to hate them. All right. They're heels, so they are doing their job. They said heel shit. But is this the right type of heat, though? Not really. So, yeah, definitely not the right type of heat, but they are heels at the end of the day. But I'm sure it's probably just going to be some, I don't know, apology tour or something, I guess, whenever that happens. But it doesn't look like anything's happened at this point in time. So everything will probably be all right by next week and whatnot. And the claim will be back on Dark or Elevation or however many AEW shows. And this will probably become like a, I won't say it'll be a blurred memory and whatnot to everybody, but it'll just move on to whatever the next problem will be. Okay. That's what I most likely see coming out of this whole thing. So, it's like some would say you have to look at this like a tax write off and move on to the next part of whatever happens next. All right, but yeah, that's my whole take on the whole this whole Max Caster rap situation. All right, blown out of proportion too much. So however you want to take it, it's however you want to take it. But like I said at the beginning of this video, best not to use the whole mental health or rape jokes. It's just not gonna work. All right, definitely not definitely not the best idea there. But could have been easily avoidable. This is a tape show. You could have just edited this whole thing out. But moving on, no, to AEW itself. We kick off the show back in Daly's place, of course. Chris Jericho versus Juventud Guerrera. Now, we have not seen this match since WCW Nitro from over, 20 something years ago at this point in time. And this match was not bad. It was slow in the beginning, and it was kind of botchy a couple times here and there. Like I said, I have not seen Juventud Guerrera wrestle in a very long time. Like I said, I'm sure he's still wrestling in Mexico and whatnot, but I just haven't, you know, heard just heard about him wrestling in general, especially back in the States and whatnot. But like I said, there were a couple botches here and there and some awkward looking spots, especially when they were kind of at the top rope, and I think Jericho tried to, jump down with him, but they both kind of fell down at the same time. I think it was like a Hurricane Rana though in Denver. Yeah, he tried to reverse to the walls of Jericho, but that's where he kind of botched it. But the match got better later on. Chris Jericho did end up winning with the Judas effect, and then another Judas effect from the top rope and whatnot, which I actually like the finish to this, so that was not bad. But as Jericho was somewhat bleeding, Wardlow got in, attacked Chris Jericho then, and he hit him with the F10, and then he hit Hoovy with the F10 after that. MJF got in the microphone, basically telling Jericho, like, I'm not going to let you be happy during your labors and whatnot, especially in front of these scum-sucking fans. You will have another match. Your fourth labor is going to be Wardlow, and the special guest referee is going to be me. So, we'll see how that goes. Some of my co-hosts already said, so Wardlow's getting buried next week. I don't know. I'm sure they'll find a way out of this, or some way for Jericho to win without burying Wardlow. Maybe still making him look strong and not beating him straight up clean. So we'll see what happens with that. The Lucha Brothers and what's the translator's name? Alex there. Were in the back. I guess Pac, flights or something got canceled. And Chavo and Andrade walked up then. They'll talk about we have first class travel, the champagne, the lobster, the steaks, the food, all that. But Penn and Phoenix said they don't work for nobody. Okay, they don't work for anyone before that segment ended. Um, what else they had going on? Dark Order, I guess, with Hangman Page. Apologize for costing him the tag title shot and whatnot, which Hangman says he's going to fix this himself without their help. So that's what he's going to do. Next, Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston, and Darby Allin with Sting versus Daniel Garcia and Everrise, or Jeff Parker and Matt Lee. So I did not know the 90-day thing was up, and I kept sitting there looking like, wait a minute, is that Everrise? So like they're in AEW now? Like, wow, that was pretty fast. This 6-man itself, though, I'll give Everrise some credit right here. As much as I say they don't rule a lot in NXT, they kind of ruled right here, and they had a very good 6-man tag. All right, this was not bad. I still think fucking Darby doing that damn suicide dive on the one that Everrise looked like he killed the guy when he just like hit him and then landed back on his feet. He looked like he just murdered him. Okay, that dude looked dead once he hit that suicide dive, like just out of nowhere, like just used his whole body weight to kill the man. But Moxley, what was it? Kings hit like a spinning back fist on the Parker. Mox hit the Death Rider, and I think it was onto the Daniel Garcia dude. And Darby Allin, he hit the coffin drop for the win. And then, everybody celebrated. Sting's in the ring. They put in the 2 sweet sign. I actually thought Sting was about to drop either Mox or Kingston right there. I was actually waiting for a Scorpion Death drop, but that did not happen. But yeah, Everrise, they ruled here. They showed out tonight, so I'll give them credit. I've always shitted on Everrise, but they were not bad here tonight, even though they're not Everrise anymore. The Elite were in the back. I thought this segment was not really good. I thought these guys didn't even look like main eventers, and they look like Mick Carters here. Whatever gear they had going on with Gallows, Anderson, the Bucks, and Kenny with a Cookie Monster t-shirt on and whatnot. And I guess now Gallows and Anderson are challenging the Dark Order for the Impact Tag titles next week, which I think that doesn't make sense because, like, why is the Dark Order getting a title shot all of a sudden? Okay, didn't they won the titles from Violent by Design, so why aren't they getting a rematch? For the tag team titles? I don't really understand that right there. Like, shouldn't Violent by Design be getting a tag team rematch? The Bucks says, who else do they have left to face in AEW? And they start throwing around the basketball court and say they were retired as champions. So I didn't really think this segment was good. Like I said, they look like Mick Carters. But then my co-host said it many months ago. They don't look like main event guys. They look like Mick Carters or whatever they're trying to be out there. They don't look like main event guys. They just look like goofballs. Christian Cage went against the Blade. Not a bad match. Christian ended up getting the win. I know Layla Hirsch ended up helping Christian, getting rid of the bunny and whatnot. But Christian ended up getting the spear for the win, so not bad. Match was pretty good. Britt Baker came out with Rebel. Basically, next week Rampage will debut in Pittsburgh, and now she's back in Jacksonville where she won this title. But next, Red Velvet came out and said, "I want a piece of the DMD." And Baker says, "I beat your ass in 3 minutes here in Jacksonville." But Red Velvet said, "Yeah, you beat me in 3 minutes when I was enhancement talent." Yeah, a lot of insider turns in this promo. Don't know if that's the best way to do that, But saying, which I'm kind of also glad at least she mentioned her record, because I don't know anybody's ranking system in this company at this point. But she says she's 22-4 with a 7-match win streak, and that she deserves a title shot and whatnot, and she wants to make a statement and everything. And how about, and Baker's basically said, we're gonna do it next week on Rampage in my hometown of Pittsburgh. So expect Baker to get huge cheerly, and Red Velvet to mostly get booed out the building. Okay, but next, Rebel tried to tackle him out with a crutch. Velvet stopped her, and then Baker took the crutch and slammed on her throat and whatnot. But a good promo between both Velvet and Baker out there. But yeah, Baker's definitely win that title, retain the title next week. But because I almost said, why is Red Velvet out here? But at least they had somewhat they tried to explain the ranking system and whatnot to say why she has a title shot. But she's definitely not winning, no. Hangman Page was already in the ring, gonna explain what he had to say until the Elite came out then, and they wanted to clear something with him. Um, Basically, the Elite. But yeah, the Elite, like I said, not Hangman, but Omega there, basically, you want to ditch us and have some new friends. Why don't you rejoin the Elite and whatnot, okay? And Paige says he wasn't going to do that. Omega say, it looks where the Elite has been today, and it looks like you don't fit the bill, cowboy or not. We don't have losers in the group, and we don't really play second fiddle. Hangman ended up punching Omega in, and then everybody started jumping him. The Dark Order came out, but what? Uno and Grayson held him back because Hangman said he wanted to do this on his own. Next thing you know, they hit the Magic Killer and several BTE triggers then. Cash tried to come out and help him and whatnot, but he ended up getting taken out of the ring then and beat up outside as Omega says, do it again. And then he held up the title and hit him then after that, leaving Hangman on the ground all beat up. And, I sit there wondering, is anybody going to help, Page other than Cass, since he's the whole elite hunter and whatnot. And I would sit there and say, hey, I expected Sami Callihan to show up since he is teaming with Callihan tomorrow night on Impact, or I expected the other Bullet Club of Jay White and Chris Bay and others, since they're kind of a feud with the elite of who's Bullet Club and who's not Bullet Club right now. So I would have even expected that, but they don't have any of those guys available to be on this show yet, apparently. So yeah, we're not getting a Jay White or Callahan yet, even though they are kind of somewhat involved in this feud, but two different shows, I should say. But Cass, he shows up anywhere. All right, but yeah, they end up beating up Hangman then, so not a bad beatdown. I'll give them that. Miro when he gets Lee Johnson for the TNT title. Very good match. Probably the best one out of this whole night. I enjoyed this a lot, okay? A lot. Miro just looks really strong. He's very over. Even the fans even chanted game over when he did a submission hold and whatnot. So I really did enjoy this match. Lee Johnson, he's getting better and better every week, every time we see him. But yeah, Miro definitely dominated right here. Next, I guess they announced the Rampage commentary team for Excalibur, Chris Jericho, Taz, and Mark Henry. That's way too many people on commentary for a 4-man booth, and Jericho will most likely yell over all of these guys. So get ready for that to happen, especially hear more of Jericho throughout commentary, okay? Christian was in the back saying he is the #1 contender now for the AEW title, and, thank Layla Hirsch for helping him. And then he starts singing, thank you for being a friend, but, he talked about having best friends, and he says he's going to be a next weekend on Rampage. If someone's getting in trouble, he called himself Elite and whatnot. Next, Layla Hirsch went against the Bunny for a shot at the NWA Women's title. Camille was out there. I actually forgot Camille was the NWA Women's Championship. Then again, I have not watched NWA in a very, very long time, okay? But this was a pretty good match. I don't know why Nyla Rose out there staring at Chris Statlander. But this wasn't a bad match. Some would say the Bunny probably would have went over right here, which I could have agreed since she is on TV every week and whatnot. And Layla Hirsch, it's been a while since she's been on TV. I'm sure she's on Dark and whatnot, but it's been a long while since she was on this show. But she ended up winning with the submission hold, cross arm breaker onto the Bunny for the win. So it wasn't even that bad of a match. Actually pretty good. But now Camila got in the ring then and basically held the title up. So obviously we're getting one of these David versus Goliath because the height thing. One's a giant, one's really short. So we'll see whenever that title is going to be defended at whatever NWA pay-per-view is coming up. I don't know. I have not really caught up with NWA in a very long time. I know they're supposed to be having an all-women's pay-per-view. I know that's still supposed to be happening. So, whenever that title match will happen, I will most likely check it out. Whatever doing with the NWA for this women's championship or whatnot. But yeah, Layla Hirsch getting the win. We'll see what goes on with that. Malachi Black came out making his entrance with a skull and like horns on it, like mask, so that looks pretty cool. Spy versus Spy match we had here with Cody Rhodes. Of course, he looks like Homelander or trying to be Captain America. And this is a match I didn't expect to be so short, but Black looked very, very strong right here. Very strong, mostly focusing on Cody's leg and whatnot, as Cody's selling the knee, even when they get to the top rope. Black ended up kicking Cody off of it, and he went through a whole table then and crashed into it, okay? Crashed into that table. But as Cody got back in the ring, Black hit the Black Mass, and I'm still calling it the Black Mass for the time being until they whatever they call it next. And he put one foot on the Cody, and he won in 5 minutes. So, Cody, man, at least he's putting some people over here. Cody didn't put himself over, folks, so I guess we can't say nothing about it this time. But then, I was surprised this match was so short, but Black looked really strong, and of course he had to be put over, especially to prove something here. Tony Schiavone got in the ring with Cody then. I felt like it was time for Cody's sympathy time then after that, as they put a crutch in, which was too short. And Cody, this legacy thing is funny. Talking about he's been doing it since he was 15, ever since they took the title away from his dad in the garden and whatnot. And, time flies and goals change. He's had a lot of fun. His crutch is too short. And he asked, Tony to get out of the ring and talk about when he left, I guess, WWE and whatnot. I left there. I didn't get fired and whatnot. And how he met the Bucks and Kenny and how they came up with this promotion of AEW. And it would be a revolution, a commonplace, or, his outer heaven, I would like to call it. Basically set the table, and maybe there's some new people that can eat now, and might be outside interest coming this way and infighting with the EVPs, but he loves them very much, and he's tethered to them. And he called Daly's place the AEW Amphitheater because no better place to be right now. He told the fans he loved them, and it makes his life incredibly special. And then, of course, I'm sure a lot of people thought he was going to retire right here once he took off his boots, which he took off one, but then he couldn't get the other boot off, and Black came back in with a crutch. So basically a retirement angle right here. Now, what has me thinking with this, and I'm going to go all the way back with Brody Lee for a second here. Remember when Brody Lee beat Cody for the title in damn near like 3-4 minutes and whatnot? And I'm saying this is before we all knew about the whole Brody health situation, but remember when Brody beat him real fast, and then he was the champion for like 3-4 weeks, but then we had Cody come back and then just beat him then for the title right back, which didn't make a lot of sense. It's before the health thing I'm explaining, and that didn't make a lot of sense. That's what I feel it's going to happen with Black right now, because I'm sure it'll be a rematch at All Out at the pay-per-view. I expect that to happen with Cody and Black. So that's what it looks like. I'm sure Cody's going to come out here next week saying, I would have left gracefully or something like that, but now I got to come back and kick Black's ass, and All Out, that's what I'm going to do, and face you and kick your ass and prove that I'm still the American nightmare and whatnot. Because you want to get dark, I'll show you dark. You're not dealing with the American dream right now. I've been going with. You're dealing with the American nightmare, Cody Rhodes. So that's something I would expect Cody to do. But that's very similar to what I'm kind of seeing now, because they did this with Brody Lee before with Cody and whatnot. So I could somewhat see the similarities, but I expect to see another match in all this, all right? But other than that, though, not a bad show for this homecoming show for AEW and whatnot. It's a pretty good, I'll say, the main event itself. Black going over very, very strong. Miro and Lee Johnson actually liked. The Baker and Velvet promo was pretty good. Cage versus Blade was okay. Everrise, and then Daniel Garcia versus Mox, Kingston, and Darby was pretty good too. Jericho and Juventud Guerrera, I thought it wasn't a bad match. It was slow at first, and it didn't really like it was going well, but it picked up better in the end, and actually thought that was a decent match, okay? I think it's better than the whole, Super CZW match they did last week and whatnot, and, Domino's getting already pissed off over pizza cutters and whatnot, and dropping sponsors, so yeah. But other than that, though, I'm out of here. Follow me on Twitter at HoodieNight890. Tell me what you think about the show. Tell me what you think about the whole Max Caster situation right now. 'Cause I've already told my take on it and everything. So tell me what your take on the whole thing is. Also, if you agree with it or not, or are people taking this out of proportion way too much and just taking this to another level where it doesn't need to be on, okay? But yeah, that's my review of AEW Dynamite, this homecoming show. We'll see what happens next week then. So yeah, other than that, I'm out of here. See you guys later. Peace out.